My name is Scott Jessen. I'm with Tennant Products, and in these trainings, we're actually diving in and talking about specific ingredients and specific ingredients that help make our product exactly what it is. And one of the things that we do weekly is actually dive into the specific ingredients and why we have the specific ingredients that we have, why they work, and why they stand apart. And so I wanted to dive in and start talking about colostrum. It's kind of a hot topic, and colostrum is one of those things where it's great for immunity. It's actually great for muscle growth. It's kind of a wonder working thing as we dive into this. And at Tennant Products, it's a whole lot more than a job for us. It's our passion. Originally we made these quality products that were only available to doctors and practitioners, and now they're actually available to each one of us, and we're able to sell them at retail. And we use only the best quality ingredients. We're going to talk about that specifically today, and I just wanted to dive into that. When we're specifically talking about these things, we know that we're wearing our cells out. We have to replace them. We get cones in our retina and have to replace the lining of our gut every 2 to 3 days, skin every 6 weeks, liver every 8 weeks. The challenge here is that when we're building new healthy cells, we need to make sure that we have all of the specific ingredients. And we're going to talk about one of those fantastic ingredients today, which is colostrum. So we know that we need all of the specific things to create new healthy cells. We need to know that the body doesn't create the damaged cells or fix the damaged cells. It creates new healthy cells, and then nutrition provides those building blocks. Well, colostrum is one of those things that really helps provide that building block. And when we dive into this, we'll say, okay, well, what is colostrum? And colostrum is actually milk-like fluid that's produced in mammals from the mammary glands shortly after giving birth. Mothers often refer to this as liquid gold, but it's fantastic for the immune system. It's actually great for the microbiome, and it has one known property. It has a proline-rich polypeptide, which actually helps later in life with muscle growth and specific activity. But this fluid, which we refer to as colostrum, you can actually see the different colors of it here. Initially, it's bright yellow, and then it gets more white as the time goes on. It provides nutrients to support the baby's immune and digestive systems. It's one of its main functions. And so why would we actually have this in our Restore or any other product? Well, it's because our bodies actually need that immune support and that digestive support. And so it not only helps in the first couple of weeks after birth, but it also helps all throughout life. And if colostrum is consumed outside of this initial period, like right after birth, it can have significant health benefits. We've talked a little bit about this. I mentioned this, but proline-rich polypeptides, and these are often referred to as PRPs. So if you're in the sporting space and in professional athletics, proline-rich polypeptides are often banned. They can help stimulate muscle growth or athletic recovery, and so the World Anti-Doping Agency isn't a huge fan of these. They want to make sure that we have that level playing field. So if you're a professional athlete, let's make sure that we keep you away from microbiome support and Restore Professional. But our normal Restore would be just fine. But proline-rich peptides or polypeptides are the most important ingredient in colostrum. They contain an unusually high proportion of amino acid proline. We're going to take a look at amino acids here in just a minute. But PRPs also contain intercellular signaling molecules that have a unique ability to help modulate the immune system. So not only do they work really well for muscle growth, but they also help balance the immune system and help promote that. One of the things in which they do this is they actually help regulate the thymus gland, which is the body's central command for the immune system, and it stimulates an underactive immune system or regulating system for the immune system. When we take a look at what are PRPs, I thought this is a really interesting image. So we know that polypeptide is a linear organic polymer consisting of a large number of amino acid residues bonded together in a chain, forming part of or a whole part of the protein molecule. We know that amino acids actually start off and they're broken down. We hear them talked about oftentimes as broken down protein, and that the body continues to create proteins and break these down. Well, when we take a look at one of the most important things, the proline-rich polypeptide of colostrum, we can actually see this broken down version of the protein structure. So we have the amino acids, and then as the first structure, so it's all the way broken down. It's what the body can actually use, digest. They take those amino acids and then move all the way through into a polypeptide chain and eventually the complex protein molecule. So I thought this is a really, really kind of unique description of how we actually use those amino acids to work through the first, second, third, and fourth steps, and why proline-rich polypeptides actually make a difference. It's not just amino acids, but it's specifically how they actually come together and work. And it's one of the magical things about colostrum. So you say, okay, Scott, that's great, but what kind of colostrum are you using? Are you using human colostrum? If we're giving it to humans, can we use human colostrum? Unfortunately, the FDA isn't a big fan of that. But the closest thing that we have found is bovine colostrum. And their goat and bovine colostrums are the kind that are most produced. And supplemental colostrum is mostly sourced from cows. It actually aligns most specifically with human colostrum. And we know that all mammals create colostrum. Goat and bovine are most common, but bovine is better researched. It also has much better bioavailability, or the body can use it just a little bit easier. When we look at colostrum, it's not unlike looking at your beef or your whey, right? We want to make sure that it's hormone-free, that it's non-GMO, it doesn't have, rounds of antibiotics. The other thing that we know is colostrum can actually contain some hydrolyzed leather to help thicken that up. So we want to make sure that we're using the most pure form of colostrum so that there are no toxic side effects, and it's the pure stuff that we're actually putting into our body. And we can guarantee that the colostrum that we're actually using is free of those things. If you're lactose intolerant, you're concerned about colostrum being a dairy product. Well, your good news, lactose, there actually isn't any lactose in colostrum. And those with lactose intolerance have actually shown no adverse reaction to colostrum itself. It's kind of an interesting thing, right? So he's talking about the magic of colostrum. We have those proline-rich polypeptides. They're able to actually help build muscle and help build those muscle structures. It also helps support the immune system. And now, even though you would consider this a dairy product, you don't have to worry about that. So where's our colostrum sourced? Tennant Products actually uses colostrum from the largest producer of colostrum products in the world, but they also have some of the most stringent standards. They're also the leader in quality of colostrum development. And so when you think about how colostrum is actually sourced, it's collected on the first year milking round from large dairy farms. Ours is specifically from Wisconsin and Arizona, but it's coming specifically from large dairy farms, all USDA grade A dairies, to ensure that we have no additional growth hormones or antibiotics in that system. We want to make sure that we have clean colostrum, right? So we have measures of quality and safety that are taken throughout the stages of the food chain, from the fertilizers that are used from the dairy producers to not contain specific pesticides, to not accepting specific feeds with pesticide or herbicide residues, which would actually have a negative effect further down the food chain. And so we also want to make sure that we're not containing any growth hormones across the board, or any additional hormones that could increase the overall milk production, which is often found in quite a few different dairies. So estradiol, prolactin, or specific hormone therapies. Our colostrum is clean colostrum, and all of the dairies that we are using to actually access this certify that their cows are free from antibiotics, BSE, hormones at the time of calving. That means from the time they actually use the fertilizer all the way through we have to have a clean slate. So we don't want the other stuff that's actually going into our bodies. We want to make sure that we're actually providing the most clean, pure products across the board. The other thing, there's that statement about the hydrolyzed leather. So suppliers also certify that they do not add melamine or hydrolyzed leather protein to the raw colostrum. One way that you can actually thicken colostrum is by adding hydrolyzed leather protein. And we want to make sure that we're just providing the clean, pure ingredients. Only the best for our bodies. When we think about colostrum and colostrum immune support, again, we're going back to those proline-rich polypeptides, right? They're the most important ingredient in colostrum. But there are specific factors and when specific parts of the immune system that actually come into play with this, right? So we have the proline-rich polypeptides, we have the lactoferrin, cytokines, lysosomes. The more you dive specifically into your immune system, you can dive into each one of these things specifically. All that to say, we know that colostrum is specifically designed to help support the digestive tract, the gut, and the immune system, and it's a fantastic thing. So what products do we carry at Tennant Products that actually carry colostrum? Well, we have our Restore Professional formula in a couple of flavors. We have it in our single serving flavors, and then we also have microbiome support. Microbiome support is designed to specifically clean, heal, and reset your gut. Seems like that's a lot of what we've been talking about with colostrum, actually. Kind of falls right in line with that. And we actually have quite a bit of colostrum in our microbiome support to help support those things. But if you're looking for colostrum in a specific product, these are the products that we currently carry. Again, there's the Restore lineup, and in our Restore Professional WHEY series, we have that. I want to thank you guys for your time. I hope that this session has helped provide just a little bit of an insight into how proteins are structured, what it might look like to actually look at a specific ingredient that really helps with both immunity and digestion, specifically looking at the proline-rich polypeptides, how they can actually build together and help support the immune system. It is your body, it is your life. And ingredients do matter. And when you have the right ingredients, the body never forgets how to heal itself, and it can certainly run correctly. Thank you so much.